Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever pilot episode podcast for the Throwback Afternoon podcast, Throwback podcast, whatever it's going to end up being called. This is the pilot, so it's okay. And I am James. You know me here from Throwback Afternoon channel, joined by my brother and co-host for this little shindig, Jared. So you want to?
Heyo.
There you go. Say hey to the people. So
Hey to the people.
as you know, Throwback Afternoon, I've been on a bit of a hiatus lately, so I figured I'd cover that here first, real quick, and then just kind of give a brief update on everything. Been hectic, crazy, life being life. Anybody that knows life, you know how it is. But I wanted to start getting back into Throwback Afternoon content. Last video we did was actually a taste test that you and I did. God, it's been maybe a year or two. Which is on the channel. You can watch that now. We're trying different kind of snacks and stuff. And then I've got a bunch of other videos on here that are all kind of throwback, retro, 90s, 80s, early 2000s kind of thing. I'm a 91 kid, or 91 baby. I was born 91. He's 94. Shout out for the 94s.
Turning 30 this year.
That was a solemn shout out. But, but anyhow, so yeah, we thought it'd be fun to do a podcast, kind of like a weekly update, talking about our weeks, talking about day in the life kind of thing. Specifically, the format we're looking at is what we've been doing, watching, eating, any games we've been playing, music we've been listening to, what books we've been reading, just kind of catching up with each other. I know me and Jared both are big fans of like trying new flavors of food. Anytime there's a new snack or fast food item that comes out that's like new or a different flavor, we like trying them. Which is kind of nice because we also both have very different palate tastes, different taste palettes. Like I, for one, can't stand mushrooms. Can't do it. But I know Jared does like mushrooms or like mushroomy type stuff. I, for one, I love like pizza sauce, like red sauce, and I know that you're not a big fan of like real garlicky red sauce type stuff.
Right.
So not only are our opinions going to differ a lot sometimes, but also the things we try. So like if there's a restaurant that comes out with something that's got a lot of tomatoes or mushrooms or something on it, I'm probably not going to get around to seeing it, and I'm not going to be able to give you a review or opinions about it. But this guy
An honest
will.
one.
Well, that's fair too. I mean, I'd give it honest. Here's the thing: I would give an honest one, but it would be an honest one based on people that have
Bias, that's what I meant. Sorry.
no, it would be biased or honest to people that have flavor palate like me. I know a lot of people that not big on tomatoes. I like tomato sauce. I like tomato soup and ketchup, but like just regular tomatoes I can't handle. But there's a lot. I know there's shout out in the comments those of you out there that's like me. Just like I love spicy stuff. I love jalapeno, like the kettle cooked chips, but I can't eat actual jalapenos, and I don't know if it's a texture thing. Probably is in both of those cases because real jalapenos and tomatoes both have and mushrooms kind of have a similar texture when you cook them, like the physical versus the flavor. But still, I digress. That's what we're looking to do here is just kind of share a little bit about our weeks. Now, also be keep an eye on the channel, looking for some future more gaming videos, unboxings, vlogs. We're hoping to just get into everything kind of going on, through the lens of some 90s kids, 2000s teens that just really embracing the nostalgia and retro. You see a lot of these montages and compilations. It's like, Halloween parties in the early 2000s or late 90s, or commercials from 90s kids cartoons and stuff, and like we grew up in that era. And so just kind of recapturing some of that, but also, seeing what it's like for us in life now, trying to kind of find ways to bring some entertainment. Hopefully it's entertaining, and just information to you guys, just hanging out. So without further ado, we're going to get into the actual podcast segment. And we're going to start with what we've been doing. So we're going to be throwing it back this week, to the week of April 7th, to April 18th, or April 14th. I don't know why my numbers are off. It's not the 18th. The 18th, we still got till Thursday. From April 7th to April 14th, this was everything we've been up to this last week. So what have you been into this last week, Jared?
Well, working a lot. Recently started, as you know, but I guess nobody else would on here. Recently started a new job. I'll just say at a warehouse, and it's been an adjustment. It's a good job. Definitely pays well, I think, and I enjoy it. I would say 55% of the time, but it also has its frustrations and struggles that
Right.
still have those days where you're like, do I really want to go to work? And then, of course, the answer is always yes. So you get up and you go to work.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, especially with it being new. You said so you've been there just a couple weeks now,
right,
and maybe it'll eventually get better, hopefully, or it could get worse. Lord knows. I don't want to be like Debbie Downer, but I'm just saying, everything has the potential to go one of two ways. But it also,
right.
like we said, it's a mentality thing, right?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, I've been at my job. I just March 18th, I've been at my job for 6 years.
Damn.
And the thing is I still have those days. It's there are days, and because it depends on what I'm doing that day, it depends on the circumstances. Like I was telling my wife earlier, I was saying, you know, well, depending on what queue I'm in, or what how much the workload is, or how the customers are reacting to, whenever I go in this week. I'm like, it
Mm,
could be, kind of chill week, just, make some money and get through it. Um, or it could just be a miserable week. And that's why the beautiful thing is that's another reason why I wanted to do like this podcast. You even said yourself that hopefully it would help kind of push each other to get out and live more, right? The less that
right.
we do eat or try during the week, the less we have to talk about for the podcast. So if we want to have content for the podcast, you want to live a little. But I think in doing that, not only is it helping for the podcast or the channel, like when we do gaming videos or do vlogs and stuff, little content updates, it's not only going to be good for the podcast, but it'll be good for us because it's
Mm,
something that we're not constantly having to think like, oh, well, I clocked out for the day, go home, eat, sleep, go back, do it another 8, 9 hours on that routine. You don't get stuck in that rut as easy because when you get
right.
off work, then you're thinking like, oh man, I got this free time. What can I do? What can I do to kind of, what's up new I can try and talk about this week on the podcast, or a new show I can watch, or what's a good video idea, especially on the weekends where when we're both off and we can interact and kind of get up and do stuff. Um, to be able to make content and live a little, it gives motivation, I guess, is what I was looking for there.
Right. Well, I mean, do you want the full eat, ate, played, watched?
We'll break it down in segments. We'll do that. So I'm just thinking for the doing anything outside, like if you went somewhere, like um, like we'll go ahead and for this one, we'll go ahead and go back and forth. I guess I probably should have, I could have led by example a little bit there, but in an effort to be courteous, I figured to let you go first there. But we'll kind of trade off here. So one thing that I put that I wanted to talk about this week, I'll do some quick things and then I'll do my kind of more bigger spiels on what I've been doing this week. Uh,
Mm,
so let me see. I'm trying to look for, because I've got a lot of little tidbit stuff here. I'm trying to look at my notepad. Eventually, we will get better at this, more professional. I can just run off of it. I did go through some old mix CDs, so we've been cleaning the house, and especially so. Those of you that don't know, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. Actually, April 2nd, she just turned 2 years 6 months. Be 3 in October, and our living room has been a constant state of rearranging, shuffling, and expanding boundaries to kind of give her more and more room to explore and play and run around and stuff. And recently, we kind of opened the living room like completely up instead of having stuff. The only thing we have blocked off now is like the TV stand and like this glass table that we have against the wall. We have those blocked off, and then we have the kitchen blocked off. But the rest of the living room area, she's got kind of free reign now. Um, but there is one bookshelf that has my vinyl records, and it has actual books. It has like her chapter books, vinyl records, some CDs, and it has my vinyl record player on the top of it. And with that one, like for the most part, she's been pretty good about not messing with it. Or if she gets close, we'll say, it's look only, just look, don't touch, and she'll do that. She'll just kind of look, she'll point, but she's been good about not getting into it. But for our own peace of mind, we did do a little bit cleaning up. I did a little organizing, rearranging and stuff, and I found a bunch of old CDs that I hadn't heard, old mix CDs from when we was growing up, stuff like that. And so I started going through those. I've not got nowhere near done going through all of them. I have a big stack of them here that uh, I try to go through during free time and stuff, like on breaks at work. Because where I work from home, I'm usually in here in the room anyways, hanging out and stuff, and I only get so much time on break. So maybe I'll try to go through a few of those or in the morning before work. Uh, but yeah, other than that, just again cleaning the house. Um, a lot of getting excited for halfway to Halloween. So halfway to Halloween is April 30th or May 1st, depending on who you ask, apparently. But it's the halfway point to Halloween. It's like exactly 6 months in and 6 months away from Halloween. We've been doing some of that, which you'll see in with the watching and eating stuff. But we've definitely got out some spooky decor. Not a lot because you want to save most of it for actual Halloween. But I did order this thing from Temu, which I actually got to show you a picture of. I actually may pop a picture up here in the podcast. For the most part, we're just doing, I should have said that too. We're doing audio only podcasts for now until we can get good webcam equipment up and running. But I'll still maybe do like a slideshow so at least I can put this on YouTube. And in the slideshow, you can check out, I'll upload some pictures of some of the stuff that we talk about this week. But I did get this really cool thing on Temu. It's like a headless horseman silhouette thing, which is really cool, and it looks really good on our glass coffee table we've got. And we went to the Dollar Tree, actually, and Dollar Tree had a lot of Halloweeny fall kind of stuff. They had a couple like pumpkin spice candles and like a what's the other one? It was like fall leaves or something, or autumn pecan or something. But and they have like these little ropes with little leaves on it. It was very fall cozy kind of stuff. And then they have like fall plates and with pumpkins and leaves on them. So all that was really cool to find. And then lastly on my doing, the big thing that I was going to mention was the eclipse was this past week or last weekend actually, I
Well, it
think
was,
maybe.
wasn't it?
Yeah, and so
Oh,
I ran into a spot of trouble trying to find eclipse glasses. So I don't know how many other people
that's
waited like
okay.
me. I know at least one person that also had the same trouble as me because I ran into them at Walmart, uh, looking for glasses last minute, literally on the day of. um, so I got the day before I had went, and I think this might have been actually last Saturday, so it's a little bit outside of the parameter, but for the sake of the story, I went to Sonic. Sonic was supposed to be selling this blackout slush, which was supposed to be like a mix of dragon fruit and cotton candy flavor, and it was supposed to come with the blackout glasses, the eclipse glasses. But now it was the day before the eclipse, and so I knew that it was going to be tight, but we wanted to try the slush anyway. So I went, and when I get up the speaker, like literally, I just said, "Are you guys still selling the blackout slushes?" And the woman goes, "Yes, but we don't have any of the glasses, so don't ask." And I was just like, "Okay." I'm like, "Can I?" And then I was like, "Well, how much for a small one of the slushes?" And she was like, she goes, "They only come in one size, and it's this price. It's like four something." And I was like, "I'll take two." Like, okay, just give me two and I'll go. Um, and then by then, because like I said, it was later in the day, so I went on home. I didn't want those to melt and stuff. I brought them on home for me and the wife to try, and I let her know. And I was like, "Well, I'll go tomorrow morning before work," because I think it was either Monday or Tuesday when the eclipse was. Maybe it's Wednesday. No, it's Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday.
Monday.
It's Monday. It is one of them days. You know, you got
The
it.
eclipse was Monday.
Okay, well there you go. So I told her, I said tomorrow before work, I'll try to go to Kroger's and Walmart. I remembered when I did my grocery shopping at Kroger's last week, there was a lady talking about it. So I'm like, I'll run to Kroger's and check. So I get up. Work starts at 8:45. I get up at like 6:30ish, 6:45 because Kroger's opens at 7. So I'm like, I got an hour and 45 minutes get to look for these glasses and get home. So I go to Kroger. As soon as I walk in, I'm like, there's like nobody up front, like at any of the checkouts or self checkout or just anywhere. I couldn't find any workers, and I'm just like, and I just like paced back and forth in the front for like 5 minutes, and then finally I seen a woman coming up there to the cash register, And I was like, "Do you guys still have any of the blackout glasses?" She's like, "No, I think we sold out a few days ago." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I just went and left. I went in and left. And I'm like, "Well, because I'm on a time crunch, so I'm just going to run to Walmart." I get to Walmart and I go in, and as soon as I come in, there's a guy like standing there waiting, and there's a lady, female worker, and I seen her talking to him a little bit, and then she started walking off, and then she asked another employee. She said, "Do we got any more of them eclipse glasses? This guy's looking for them." And I was like, "I'm gonna wait for this answer. Saves me from asking. I'll just stand back here and wait." And I stood there, and she said, "No." She said we've gotten 3 shipments in and sold out every single time, like within hours of getting them. She said we've gotten 3 shipments and all 3 shipments have sold out this past week. And that guy's like, "All right," and he started walking my way, and I just told him. I looked at him. I said, "Well," said, "that's what I was here for too." I said, "So that saves me." And I told him, I said, "I just came from Kroger," and he said, "Kroger didn't have them." I said, "Nope," and he said, "Well, it saves me a trip." I said, "Yeah."
Oh my God!
I
You know what this is?
what is it?
This is Jingle All the Way.
It really is, yeah.
You're that man looking for the damn Turbo Man doll.
Eclipse glasses.
Why did you guys wait so long to get the glasses?
Yeah, they just start laughing. And we go into the next store, go into Dollar General, and be like, "You got him?" And they just start laughing, and they go, "Oh, we got his friendly sidekick, moonlight, lunar eclipse glasses."
God, that'd be funny.
But yeah, so
That's exactly what this is.
instead of naming the 9 reindeer, you gotta like name the different phases of the moon or the sun. The different planets in the solar system, and you get a pair of eclipse glasses. But yeah, but that was kind of my Jingle All the Way moment. Of course, it wasn't as extensive because after that, I just like I called Marissa, my wife, and I was just like, "Yeah, they didn't have it either, and I got to get home for work." And she's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." She goes, "We'll just watch it on TV or something." And I was like, "Yeah, somebody will record it, take pictures and stuff, you know." So.
I took pictures, sent it to you.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I forgot about it. You did. Maybe I'll upload those on here. Anybody else that missed it like me, you can see some pictures here on the video slideshow version of the podcast we put on YouTube. But yeah, so that was kind of the stuff that I got into on the doing side of things. So like in that mix, like if there's any other like little adventures you want to talk about, if not, then we will move on to our next little segment.
Man, I don't think it was quite as hectic as your. Oh, I do have a story. With this new job, I work technically with our dad.
Oh,
It's a sister company kind of ordeal. He works for the one, I work for the other one.
gotcha.
But we work pretty much the same hours, so we carpool together.
Yeah.
And we left early on, I think Monday. We left a little bit early to get lunch to get everybody before we go in. And we went to Sonic as well.
Okay.
But not necessarily for the glasses or the whatchamacallit, the eclipse
Yeah.
shake or whatever. And so and I got a classic Reese's Blast.
Ooh,
and he got, I think, like an Oreo Blast or maybe M&M's. And about halfway through it, I was like, "Man, this kind of sucks. This is not at all what I thought it would be. These have really went downhill."
Oh, the
Yeah, and he said, "I really thought that this would be more like what I was really wanting," and he was sitting there struggling. I was like, "You was one wishing it was more like a Blizzard?" And he said, "Oh my God." He said, "That's exactly what I was wanting."
Yeah.
He said, "Those are a Dairy Queen."
Yes. There are things I like about Sonics, but yeah, when it comes to ice cream, doing Blizzard knockoffs, everywhere else is just the Wish version of Dairy Queen's Blizzard. McFlurries, Blasts, whatever you want to call them. But anyhow, yeah, but I get you. Yeah, so we both had some Sonic issues this week. No offense to Sonic, not
Okay.
sponsored.
Yeah, because we I know don't count for this week, but like a couple weeks ago, we went and got some lunch, and I got the because I am not a man who does well with choices,
Yeah.
so I get both or three or one of each if there's multiple choices.
Yeah.
So I like to get the 6-inch chili cheese coney, the classic.
Delicious. Yeah.
But I also really like the 6-inch All American, which has onions, mustard, ketchup, and relish.
Oh, you almost had me. You lost me at relish. Of course, I've never tried relish, so.
It's really good. You like pickles? It's just pretty much diced up, sweetened pickles.
That's what everybody always says. I need to try it. I'll have to try it. I'll try
You
it.
should on a hot dog. Get an All American hot dog from Sonic.
That's what I'll do, and I'll talk about it on this podcast.
Yep, next week.
Maybe I'll do like a YouTube short video of me trying my first relish dog.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, content. Living. We're living. Here we go.
Yeah,
Full
there you
circle.
go. Sharing experiences.
And you're going to try.
Go on.
Well, we're segueing into our eating category. You're going to try a Dr. Pepper Slim Jim, which I thought was awful.
Oh, cool. I'm glad. I was like, oh, this is really good. You should try it. This tastes like crap. You should try it.
No, no.
Okay.
I was kidding about you trying it. I mean, you should, just because here's, like I told Marissa, it's, again, difference in taste things. I love
Mhm.
Dr. Pepper. I do. But I know that, like, for you, Dr. Pepper is like a top 3 drink.
Yes.
Or like brand, flavor, whatever, you know. Like, Dr. Pepper would be in my top 5, but I don't know that it'd make my top 3, and there's the difference. You and her actually both have the same basic top 2, which is Coke and Dr. Pepper. I was telling her, I'm like, well, Jared's pretty much, it's Coke and Dr. Pepper. She's like, me too. And I was like, well, there you go. But I will say she also didn't enjoy the Dr. Pepper Slim Jim, but again, it's not even a Slim Jim. I should say I'm doing that thing where it's like Kleenex tissues, you know, hand me a Kleenex even if it's an off brand. It was
Mhm.
actually Jack Link's, I think. I think it's Jack
Ooh,
Link's
that
brand, the
sounds
one that
better.
did. Right, that's what I thought because I actually prefer Jack Link's beef sticks, which is what they're actually called, as
Yeah.
opposed to Slim Jims now. Slim Jims lately hasn't been as good as they used to be. Um,
No.
and usually I will get Jack Links over Slim Jim. So again, I was like, well, this sounds pretty cool. You know, I liked the chili cheese Fritos that Jack Links did. The Flamin' Hot's not bad. The Doritos sweet spicy chili one I was not so big on. And again,
No.
that's the same way I was with the Dr. Pepper thing. And I love Dr. Pepper. I love beef sticks. But I just did not like the combination of the two. It just had too much of a weird sweet taste to it that I was not a
Mm.
fan of. Now, again, not saying that like, oh my gosh, this was. I know I joked earlier and I did say that it was awful, but
Yeah.
I think that other people with different palates, I could see enjoying it if you like a sweeter meat. Um, but it's a tangier sweetness. It's almost like a barbecue sauce, but way more powerful in my mind. Um,
Mm.
but
Well, a
yeah,
lot of people do barbecue and use in barbecue sauce. Dr. Pepper.
right. That's what I told Marissa. I said that's what the initial taste. That's what it tasted like to me. It wasn't that bad. I actually kind of it was like growing on me because I'm like, it just tastes like a sweet like a Dr Pepper barbecue sauce. Like I'll tell you something I do love. Is Dr Pepper baked beans. The Dr Pepper
Mm.
barbecue baked beans. I love those. I get those all the time when I go to Walmart. One of my favorite snacks. People are like, what in the world? This dude eats baked beans for snacks. But hey, listen, don't knock it till you try it. But so again, I understand that, but for some reason, the more I ate of this beef stick, the less I enjoyed it. Um, other things of note, other new things that I've been eating or and drinking. This is eating and drinking is sparkling ice, which is like a carbonated water beverage. They come in like these really thin, tall bottles, and it's just like carbonated flavored water. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Our
yeah.
cousin used to drink those all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Dad used to drink a bunch. He used to get them. I remember
Really?
he would order them online. He'd get the black cherry ones. I think was his favorite. Which the black
Huh.
cherry is really good. But I remember he one time had ordered like a whole case of it online because they liked them so much. And I used to drink them all the time at work. I'd always get them and take them to work. But they have new Starburst flavors out,
Mm.
and they had cherry, orange, and lemon. So far, I bought all three, but I've only tried the cherry and the lemon. The cherry is my favorite. It literally, both of them do taste like what they say. You can taste in the aftertaste. You got that sparkling water up front. Then you have like that starbursty aftertaste that tastes like whenever you've really chewed in or let that flavor of the starburst melt in your mouth. And it's
Mm.
really good. But I think that's why I like the cherry one better. Is with the lemon one, it still has the starbursty flavor, but the lemon flavor kind of overtakes it a little bit. It's a sharper, more sour thing, which I do enjoy. Like I loved it, but you don't get as much of the starburst, that candy flavor coming in. Whereas with the cherry, it just kind of all accentuates. And I'll have to keep you posted on the orange, but I still like them. I still really enjoyed them, especially if you like the flavored water, you like candy, big candy head like me. Not a big sweets guy, but I like candy. Uh, Other than that, the only things is jambalaya. We make a lot of jambalaya around here. Well, not a lot. It's like every once or twice every 2 or 3 months. I'll make a couple pots of it and have it. It's really good. But it was good enough this week to make it worth note. And then speaking of the halfway to Halloween thing, Dollar Tree had pumpkin spice cookies, like mixes,
Mm.
and Marissa made us a big batch of that. We had like 2 Tupperwares full of them.
Wow.
And all three of us here at the house enjoyed the heck out of them. The other thing is we went to Big Lots and they had some fall type stuff. So we ended up getting like these little googly eyes. They had these little monster googly eye candy things, and we put some of those on the cookies. And I'll try to upload a picture of that on here. Made like little monster pumpkin cookies, which was fun. So what have you been eating, drinking, partaking of?
Well, I actually have probably the most in that category. Uh,
Interesting.
I can go back and to remember because I was told to make a list, but I did not because I'm not good with pencils and papers and all that.
Well,
Uh,
what you need to do is find like a thing on like your phone, like a good notepad thing. That's what I use my computer. Well, like I said, my work computer and home computer's right here in my room, right next to me. I actually use Google Docs is just as a advice thing. That's what I use. I just make a Google Docs list and do it.
well, next week when I get paid, I'm planning on getting an iPhone, and they
Oh,
have an actual like little notepad app that's super easy to keep track of stuff that
okay.
I'm gonna. Um, but so this will be in no particular order except for the order of which it comes to my memory.
Oh, that's the way mine is.
Uh,
I mean, I wrote it all down, but it wasn't in like chronological by no means.
so I know there's a fellow that our dad works with, and I call him Uncle Bird. And he had made because he is like me, where the red sauce and pizza sauce and marinara sauce that it makes him really sick and really bothers his stomach. And so me and him talked about that last week, and he said, "Oh well, I seen online a recipe for a spinach lasagna." And he said, I'll try to make that and bring it in. And I said, that sounds super awesome. And he did, and it was. It had spinach, chicken, and Alfredo sauce.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I love white
Yeah,
or spinach chicken pizza of any kind. Yeah.
yeah, and it was really good. I had a massive piece of that.
Mm.
So that was a new thing that I tried. New drinks. Me and Dad went through. You're going to notice a lot of these are going to be me and Dad.
That's all
Me
good.
and Dad went through White Castle one night when we got off work because that's pretty much the only thing open.
Right. I
Sorry.
ain't been there in a while.
Um, and we, as far as eating, we just got classic chicken and cheese sliders. But I seen they had something called a vanilla Sprite, which may be old, but it was new to me. I never heard of it before, so I got it. And it's a very mixed review situation because
Okay.
I drunk half of it, and it started out pretty good. It honestly, like I told Dad, I know it doesn't make sense, but it kind of tasted like Fruit Loops
Huh.
initially. But and then also it just got, I don't know how to say it, but it got real old and real bad real quick.
Oh,
So I only drank about half of it and then tossed the rest out. It went from real good to real bad real quick.
oh, I hate
Um,
that.
yeah, and then yesterday we went. Me and Dad took our mother out for our birthday dinner. She wanted Mexican, so we took her there, and I had got a taco salad bowl with and added shrimp because that's normally what I get when I eat Mexican. But I'd never been to this particular Mexican restaurant before,
Right.
and it was okay. I ended up tipping that waitress way more than I meant to, but it wasn't her day to be blessed. So there you go.
Yeah.
Uh, and then oh, I got my snack crate. I have a monthly subscription to Snack Crate, and it was from France, I believe. It was
Ooh.
France this month, and that was really good. Had all kinds of neat stuff. Had an Orangina, some stuff that looks like Pocky,
Hmm.
but I guess it's not supposed to be Pocky.
Okay.
Um,
When we get you that video set up,
and
we'll have to do some unboxings of those.
yeah, now that I've got a audience and a platform to release that information to,
Right.
I will gladly do so. And that's all I can think of currently.
All right. Well, then we will move into our next segment here, and we'll go into my shortest segment, and then we'll save the longest for the last. So my shortest segment this week is what we've been playing. We're both
Mm.
pretty big fans of gaming, video game type stuff. And one thing I know we talked about that we've both been playing a lot is Grounded. We did been doing a lot of Grounded playing lately. We actually started new map. We did start on mild difficulty, but it's been what, not even a month maybe.
2
Um,
weeks.
I don't know if it's been that short. It's been more. Well, I'll have to look because it'll say the date on the game when we started. I'm pretty sure. I think it will anyway.
Because it was after I started at my new job, which I've been there a month.
No, it was before I thought because I thought we was playing because that's before you had the. Because I'm pretty sure we played on a few Fridays or something. I don't know. We'll look at it. But either way, it's. I don't think it's been more than a month, but I don't think it's been less than at least 2 weeks. So it's anywhere between 2 weeks and a month. Um,
Yep.
but we are hopefully tonight we'll be wrapping that up and finishing the main story. Now we've also always obviously got like side boss fights and exploration and stuff like that that we can do
Full
in there.
quest.
Yeah, little personal quest and Burgle quest and trying to collect stuff. So there's still plenty to be done on it, but it's been really fun. It's like I said, making it beating basically essentially like the main boss last night. Main story boss was really fun. I don't want to give too many spoilers for the story for anybody that's still wanting to play it. But it's very fun. You got Zachary Levi does the voice of one of the main characters in it, the main scientist guy. And I'm a big Zachary Levi fan since back in the old Chuck days. The one show that I own every season of, and still one of my favorite shows of all time.
It's
Uh,
a good show.
it is, and but yeah, so I really enjoying the game so far. It's a lot of fun. Like we talked about, hopefully they'll do sequels or updates soon with more content. Um, but yeah, I might try to get a video of us when we take on, like, we still got to take on the Brood Mother, and then there's like a Goblin Castle. It's funny we're talking about this, and there's like a wasp right outside my window, like peeking, and he's like, "You talking about a game? Bug game? Game with bugs? Big giant bugs?" I'm like, get out of here. Um,
Stop bugging me.
stop bugging me. What's the matter with you? Um, that one was bad. That was a bad one.
Yeah.
That was forced. But anywho, other than that, I'm enjoying it, and uh, other than that, I started playing Fallout Shelter, which we'll get
Mm.
into why I've been playing Fallout Shelter when we get into the what we've been watching. Spoiler alert. But um, And I also installed Fallout 3 and Fallout 76, but I've not really got into those too much yet. But Fallout Shelter is a game I played back in the day. As I was telling our brother John, um, Fallout Shelter, back when I first moved out, when we first moved out of mom and dad's, and me and Marissa moved here into the trailer, and we didn't have much internet. We didn't have our internet set up yet, but I had a laptop, and but so we would go to like mom and dad's, or we go to my grandma's, and we would use the Wi-Fi to like download whatever movies we wanted to watch, or download games and stuff like offline games and stuff that you can get. Um, and that ways whenever we was back here, we had stuff to watch and play and do. And one of the offline games that I got was Fallout Shelter, and I played it so much back in the day. Um, and I remembered really enjoying it, and so I started a new shelter on there, a new game save, and played a little bit of that
Nice.
this week. And it was fun getting back into it. It's like a nice idle game. Like it's not 100% idle, but it's also, again, it's a real easy game to just have on the background while you're doing something else, and just every now and then check over on it and update and go from here and check in each day kind of thing. I like it. I like those type games. It's relaxing, but it's still within Fallout and still presents a little bit of challenge and like strategy. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's been real fun getting back into, and it's also nostalgic for me since again that's been 8 years since we moved out, so it would have been about 7, 8 years ago. I think was the last time I played it. But it was a lot of fun. And probably somebody will fact check me and be like, it wasn't even out then. Um, I don't know how long it's been. It feels like 7, 8 years. If it's not been, then it feels that way.
Fair enough.
Now I gotta look it up just to put my own mind at ease. When did it doesn't even say when it came out. What the heck? How does nothing here on this main page tell me when this came out? This is Google. Google, get it together.
Wow.
Okay, well, while I'm looking this up, what have you been playing? I mean, other than Grounded, feel free to talk about your Grounded thoughts.
I have been playing Grounded pretty much for the first time when we started, and I think it's a very well put together game. Very good, very nice, and um, started. Which it's been a few weeks that we've been not playing, but I'm sure I'll play it tonight. Is me and Dad and Basso, more of which me, have been playing The Quarry, which is part of the Dark Anthropology games,
Yeah.
which is so far been really good. I think we're almost done with it, and we've only lost two?
Huh.
Like, at least two. I know we've lost. Maybe three, not for sure yet.
Right. So
So,
these are the games that it's just for clarity. It's the games where it's like very choice based. They have a whole series, like I said, the Dark Anthology, where it's almost like a movie, right? It's like a big extended
yes.
cutscene, but you make choices, and the goal is to see who's left out of your group that you're making choices for at the end or whatnot.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just clarifying for.
Yeah. And more into that. So, what we've done is our father, who is good at gaming, is not great at reaction time or the quick time events and
Right.
exploration. So I'm handling the controls. But we've divvied up in this particular uh, game. There is 4 male camp counselors and 4 female camp counselors.
Right.
So while I'll be controlling the movements and so forth, anytime there's a choice for a female counselor, any of them, he will decide on how he wants them to respond or what they want them to do. And I am doing the same for the male counselors.
Okay.
That's been very interesting thus far.
Right. So it keeps you guessing because it's all one choice based thing, but two different people making the choices for different sides, and you never know what
Right.
he's going to pick, and he doesn't know how you're going to react. So that's interesting. It's I know we talked about this. We did a similar experiment back with Detroit. Is that the name
Yes,
of it?
Detroit Becoming Human.
Yes, with me and you and my wife Marissa and then our cousin Alex. We did that. We divvied up the characters, and each time it would cut to a different character, we'd switch back who's playing as the character, making those choices, and it's interesting. It's a fun way of doing it. Like I said, I really want to
Yeah.
try the Dark Anthology games because I know they got a couple on Games Pass. Um, and that sounds really fun. That might be, maybe I'll do it with Marissa. Maybe I'll get her in on it, and we might try playing it that way, make it more challenging and fun.
Well, I was thinking if you wanted, we could do when I finish this up. 'Cause I have not done the. I have played Until Dawn, which is like the OG first one.
Hmm.
I played that, which I believe, ironically, is a PlayStation exclusive.
Mm.
Uh, and now I've done the Quarry, but there's another one that I cannot think of the
Yeah,
name
I
of.
can't either. I know the one you're talking about because it's also on Games Pass. It's the one I installed it and I started to play it, but I never did finish it.
Right,
It starts
but I
off
was
here on a
thinking maybe
boat.
the three of us, could do that one, divvy up
Yeah, that would
characters,
be
and
fun.
maybe record it.
Okay, yeah, that might be something to look forward to on the channel. Let us know down below if that's something you'd like to be interested in seeing. But yeah, go ahead, continue. Sorry, yeah, but that it definitely is
Oh,
fascinating.
yeah. um, I think that was about a lot of it. I'm trying to do playing games. Oh, I'm sitting here playing one right now.
Hmm.
I've been some people at work. Apparently, there's a group of them that's really big into Monopoly Go, which,
Oh,
do not be deceived, it's nothing like Pokemon Go.
yeah,
Thank God.
I've seen a lot of ads for
Uh,
Monopoly Go.
yeah, it's really good. If you decide to join, tell me first so I can invite you and get points for it.
Okay.
Uh, it's pretty much you you roll your dice, you get a bunch of dice, you spin it, and your little token character goes around the board. You get money, then you use that money to build, what's it called, structures or buildings or whatever.
Yeah,
And then once you
Monopoly Go.
finish all the buildings on this one map, then you'll go to another map, it has another board and more things to build.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
went through, one was Camelot, I went through Atlantis, I just finished Madrid.
Oh, that sounds fun.
You have, yeah, it's real fun. You keep going with different boards and different things to build, and
Yeah.
then you can add friends, and they have like cards you can trade. They have random events that you can do together, like every so often, and it's pretty good. I gotta say, at first I was really hesitant, but I'm a little hooked right now.
Okay.
Uh, so again, highly recommend it. And then
Okay.
if you do, and if your wife does, let me know first so I can get points for it.
Oh well, yeah, it sounds interesting. I definitely will look into it for sure. But speaking on that note, while we're on the subject of phone games, I will say the other three things that I've been doing this week on my phone games, um, is one I've been doing, which is a cryptogram letters and numbers game thing, which is like a little code breaker. I like the little, so it'll have like, it's literally like one of those number codes where it'll have like 578 5 3 2 4 9, and like
Mm.
one of the letters will be filled in. So like it'll say like 5 is A. So then you go all the fives, you put an A there. All the tens, you put an E, and then you try to figure out, solve what the puzzle is, or guess the other letters and stuff. And
Mm.
it's just different quotes, facts, different stuff like that. I've been doing that a lot, just little fun puzzle stuff. But then also, I recently regot. I had done it a while back, these apps, and but recently got back into it, and I got Marissa into one of them, which is the Tops card collecting apps. So they
Mm.
have one for Disney, one for Marvel, and one for Star Wars. That I have all three of them. But you get on, you get different like little packets every day or booster boxes, and you also get so many coins every day. And then they'll have a store, but they always have different category. Like on Disney last week, they had like in the Disney card store thing, they had National Bear Day. They had Disney 100 packs and had like
Mm.
villain packs, and but they'll be like 3,000 coins or 2,000 coins, and then it'll be like a random pack. You get a lot of duplicates, and then you'll get like every few packs. It's almost like digitally opening card packs and getting them, but you don't ever have to spend money. You can, I guess, if you wanted to, but you don't really have to because they give
Uh-huh.
you like you get like 10 15,000 coins every day for free, And then you
Wow.
also get a booster pack every day for free. They also have events where, like, if you open so many packs in the store, then you get money and packs, or they have little mission daily quests where, like, if you open 5 packs, you get an extra 1,000 coins. Like,
Huh.
yeah, and there's all these different art styles and designs and really cool stuff. And I was telling Marissa about it, and she got the Disney one, and we actually was able to add each other on there, so we're able to see each other's card collections, and we can trade or offer trades and stuff together. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's a real fun. Just it's again, it's like card collecting but digitally and for free. So it makes it kind of a fun little thing to do. So when you was talking about phone games like that, it reminded me of that, and I thought I'd bring that up for you.
Well, that is that is like a thing you can do on the Monopoly Go is get little sticker cards to trade with you. So
Okay, well there
if
you
you
go.
collect a set, you get a bunch of dice and money.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, definitely send me a link for that, and I'll send you some of those other ones I was talking about.
Yeah.
Look into that.
Also, you mentioned phone game which I might download just to have is the Fallout Shelter. I might get
See, yeah,
well.
I couldn't remember if it was a phone game or not. I've been playing on the computer, but yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I was just reading on it when I was trying to find out when it came out. I just found out it is on phone and computer and Xbox. Apparently came out for phone first, and it was 2015, so it would have been because we moved out 2015. Um, so that actually tracks. It came out, I think it said April 2015, sometime early 2015, late 2016, and we
Hmm.
moved out in December of 2015. So this would have been basically probably spring or summer of 2016 when I would have been playing it. So that actually tracks and makes sense. Speaking of that, if you are ready, we'll move into our last segment of the day, which is what we've been watching.
All
Um,
right.
Most of these that I've got on here are like rerun, or not rerun, but repeats or older stuff. So I'm just going to kind of breeze through them real quick. And then I've got a couple newer things that we'll get into talking about. So I will say, because of the halfway to Halloween thing, we've been wanting to watch more spooky stuff and kind of more getting that spooky vibe. But again, we also want to save like the heavy hitters for actual Halloween. Like we're Michael Myers Halloween, Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, Great Pumpkin. All those are like our watch, during like September, October. You save those for the Halloween season. Um,
Hmm.
but we did start watching some of the Scooby Doo movies. Let me think of how we did this. We did Cyber Chase, Ghoul School, Alien Invaders, and The Reluctant Werewolf. And then we're going to watch Witches, Ghosts, and Zombie Island, but we're saving those for the actual halfway to Halloween day, which is again April 30th, May 1st. We're saving those for then.
Hmm.
So I'll come back to you about those. But we did watch the other four of our favorite Scooby Doo movies. Again, all great, all classics, all in their own right, very nostalgic and retro. Grew up. I was telling Marissa, me and you had Alien Invaders and Cyber Chase on VHS. So getting to rewatch those, it's been a minute, was really fun. Also, I don't know if you remember this. I looked up on YouTube. I was watching gameplay footage of the Cyber Chase video game for the
God,
first
yeah.
PlayStation. I remember we had that. We even had the disc, the little case, the old CD case for it. And I remember you
Yeah.
got to run through and get like little Scooby snacks and get you go through like ancient Japan, and then you go through like Rome. Uh, and I remember really loving that game, and that was another thing made it
That
nostalgic
was.
for me.
Yeah.
It actually sent me down a rabbit hole of a lot of old school games, but that we'll save for a different video because I think that'll be a fun discussion. Is some nostalgic games. Uh, but then we also watched Friday the 13th Part 5. It was one I still had never seen. Marissa's slowly been getting me. She's the horror person here, as you'll see in the future from her side of the room. Uh,
Hmm.
but she has slowly she when we first got together, she got me to watch all the Screams for the first time, all the Halloweens for the first time. That was like a couple years ago that I finally watched all of the Halloweens. And then last year or the year before last, we sat down and watched every one of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like I'd seen like the first one and I'd seen Freddy vs. Jason, but I'd never sat and watched all because they've got so many sequels and stuff. And so this year the goal has been Nightmare or Friday the 13th. That's Nightmare on Elm Street we did. Yeah, Friday the 13th has been this year. Sorry. Um, so all the Jasons and starting with part 5 because I'd seen 1 through 4, and then I'd seen Jason 10 or Jason X, whatever it is, and then I'd seen Freddy versus Jason. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I hadn't seen, but now I've seen 5. So now we just got 6, 7, 8, 9. But it was all right. So far, my least favorite in the series out of the ones I've watched. But you
Yeah.
know, it's still Jason, so it works. Still spooky. We also
Just
rewatched Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, the Tim Burton one. It's a classic.
oh
Just a classic. Definitely gives you spooky vibes. I love the setting. I love the story of the Headless Horseman and all that stuff. Um, the other things we started watching, I think we started watching it last week, but we watched a few more episodes this week. I was talking about Gravity Falls. It's one that I'd missed out on for
yes.
so long. Everybody talks about it. Everybody said it'd be right up our alley, and it was just we put it off, put it off, put it off. And I just was sitting there one night, and I was like, man, I don't want to watch. But you know, we've been watching Scooby Doo and Sleepy Hollow, and I was like, I kind of want something. It's got a good kind of spooky vibe, but you know, and I was like, well, you know, got Disney Plus. I've still never tried Gravity Falls, and everybody says it's kind of in that vein, but like, you know, like Over the Garden Wall esque. So tried it, loved it. Got Marissa to watch it. She loved it, and we're on episode 6 or 7, I think, of season 1. So we
Mm,
still very new
so
into
good.
it, but we are loving it. It's so like I said, it's so good. Because it combines like you have like some of the more horror type elements, but you also get a lot of like cryptid stuff, which we're both big fans of. Um, and I love that aspect. And there's that whole supernatural side of it.
Yeah.
Other things. Last night I did rewatch Howl's Moving Castle, which is my favorite Studio Ghibli movie. Been a while, so I felt it's time for a rewatch, and it was because it's so good. Love it still. And then lastly, the new thing, which is the big thing, which will help segue into what you've been watching, is I binged 8 episodes of the new Fallout Amazon Prime show in one day. The day it came out, I binged all 8 episodes because I'm a maniac and because it was that good to me. Again, my
Mm,
experience with Fallout has been Fallout Shelter, Fallout 76, and like maybe a couple of hours of Fallout New Vegas. And that's my Fallout experience. And I've probably played like a couple weeks to a couple months worth of 76 back when I played
mhm.
it. I played a good little run, but it wasn't like a hardcore run, but I played a good little run on 76. I played Shelter for probably half a year and then had played New Vegas for like a couple hours. And that was my experience. But I knew a lot about the aesthetic and all that stuff and still was excited for the show. And man, did it not disappoint.
Yeah.
So I
I mean,
know.
I'm only
Okay, I was going to ask
four
how far you
episodes
got
in.
in because I knew you said you was a little ways in last night, but not all the way. But so you're almost half through though.
Well, I'm half through. I've got
Okay.
like I think I'm actually a little over half. I think I'm starting 5 or 6. I think I just finished 5 last night before I passed out.
Okay. And now this may be something we do more. I'm going to try to save spoiler talks for either a separate podcast or we'll talk spoiler talks after the podcast because where it is so new, I don't want to spoil anybody really. But yeah, so you tell me a little bit about your experience with Fallout because I am curious because I know you've played more than me and have more experience, and maybe get that more of a take on your thoughts on the show, and then you can tell me what else you've been watching.
So you want like my gaming experience for Fallout, and then do kind of like a my thought comparison to the show, correct?
Right, right.
Okay. Well, my biggest experience, I would say my first experience is 4,
Yeah.
which is, I know some people, namely our brother, will disagree. 4 is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
That is where we are introduced to dog meat,
Dog meat.
which is the, I'm pretty sure, mutated German Shepherd that has not been officially referred to as dog meat in the show, but
Yet.
that's like pretty much.
Yet. Give it time.
Yeah.
Give it time.
And so I really enjoy that because I'm a big animal person, but specifically dogs. I I'm one of those people in like I can watch Patrick Bateman absolutely tear somebody up, but as soon as somebody hurts a dog, I will be very upset, like Dale from Tucker and Dale versus Evil. You hurt my dog, I'll be real mad.
Some deep cut references, and I'm loving it. Especially for halfway to Halloween, you're giving us some spooky references. I respect it.
I'm trying. I'm picking up what you're putting down and throwing it through the hoop.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but no. So I really enjoy 4 because of dog meat mostly, and I really appreciate the story. I'm a really big Brotherhood guy, so
Okay.
I'm really enjoying the Maximus arc
Okay.
because if I'm correct, he is a direct character from 4, and I don't want to give anything away from the show or assume what's going to happen in the show. But if I am correct, he's like a big part of the Brotherhood in Fallout 4. Uh, and so I really enjoyed that. And I've played a little bit in New Vegas, not a lot. I will be a fair assessment or assumption on it. I've played it for probably a few hours, is all I've played of New Vegas, and I feel like I have played 4, but honestly, I could not
I mean, 3.
positively tell you that. Or 3, sorry,
Yeah, no,
3. Definitely haven't played the first 2.
yeah, same.
Not entirely how important they are. So
Same.
if you want to come for me, please do so. Because
Come for me.
I would like to learn.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But overall, the colors, the cinematography, the acting, the characters, everything with me at 5 episodes in, I absolutely love. Was loved from, I mean, I loved it from I was more amped up for it from the trailers than I
Same.
believe you were initially.
Well, I mean, I was pretty amped up. I'm a big Walton Goggins fan.
Yes.
And again,
So
I
good.
like. Again, one of my biggest things, I love the aesthetic. Me and you talked about this, and I've been talking to a lot of people about this recently. Is like the retro futuristic kind of aesthetic. Now this
Yes.
takes it a step far or a step more by adding in it's got retro futurism but also post apocalypse. But I love where it's like, especially that's the other thing about the show, the soundtrack, the friggin' soundtrack.
Yeah.
You got all these 50s, you
Old
got like,
school.
yeah, the old school 50s jukebox things, and then you've also got it playing Johnny Cash hits when you're dealing with like the more Western stuff, dealing with like the Ghoul, who's my favorite character right now in the show. 8 episodes in, finished the first season. Definitely Walton Goggins' character is my favorite. Like I told Marissa, my wife, because I was convincing her to watch it with me. I want to rewatch it already. Uh, is I was like, he's so charming. Just some
Yeah.
of the stuff he says and does. He has that. Like I said, it's almost like if you've ever seen Justified, which I know we have. It's like
Yes.
as if Boyd was trying to cosplay or go on Broadway and play Raylan. It's like he's trying
Mm.
to play Timothy Oliphant's character, which is the opposite of his character in that show, but he's still got
Mm.
all that quippiness, and I love it. It's just excellent. But again, like you said, the soundtrack's amazing, the aesthetic, the set design, all of the acting. Like I said, the guys playing Maximus, the girl playing Lucy, your main players are really really good in it. You got Matt Berry from What We Do in the Shadows voicing one of the
Mm.
Mr. Handy Saw
Snip,
people.
snip.
Snip Snip, yeah, which again, iconic genius. He's got one of those iconic voices.
Yeah,
Um,
I was like, oh, I know who that is.
yeah, like especially if you watch a lot of I watched I think the first season of What We Do in the Shadows. I need to catch up on it, but he's hilarious in that. But no, so yeah, but I'll be glad to finish talking about more whenever you finish it because there's a big thing in the last episode that apparently people that's even played the games said has never been confirmed in the games, and the show kind of does it.
Uh,
And people was like, okay, that makes sense now. We was wondering or we were theorizing that, and the show puts it into perspective. So I'll be curious to see. But what else you
well,
got?
there has been one thing that was brought up, which again, it's kind of spoilery.
Yeah.
Uh, that was like a heavyweight, interesting. Anyway, what was you saying?
Oh, just what else you been watching? What else you got on the watching list?
Um, I have been burning it up with uh,
One Piece.
uh still.
Still, yep. I was gonna say
Yep.
I know
Uh,
where it's going.
for anybody who knows, I'm a little ways into the Zoe arc right now, which has been kind of meh thus far. Which following Dressrosa, I guess almost anything would be. But I've also heard a lot that people say, I guess the one after this is Wano, which is apparently a huge thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I gotta get through have one big and a smaller one, and then another big.
Well, you know me, I'm on Poppy's Island, so I'm way back.
Uh,
Episode 60 something.
yeah, I'm at like 7 or 8, 60 something.
Oh, you're in the 700s, 800s.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
in 60 something. Well, I'm getting there.
Eventually.
Eventually. Fallout came out. What was I supposed to do? Not
Uh,
binge all 8 episodes in one day?
oh, Godzilla X Kong New Empire. Technically, it was like a couple weeks ago, but
Ugh, so good. Yeah, that's another one I want to do a whole thing on is MonsterVerse. Oh
that
man,
was very,
so
very
good.
good.
It's
Why is it?
let me fact check. So I do a list every year of my top movies for the year. Um,
Mhm.
so I got to do my 2024 and 2023 movies. And yeah, Godzilla X Kong is currently number one. I've watched 7 movies that have come out in 2024, and so far, and I feel comfortable saying this right now because we still got a whole lot of year and a lot of movies left to go. But Godzilla X Kong is number one right now
Mm.
with a 4.5
It's
rating
just
from me on Letterboxd.
it's a solid film.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I like fun. I like a lot of fun, over the top, smash 'em, bash 'em
Yeah.
in your action. So I can't wait for Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and I can't wait for the Fall Guy.
Oh yeah.
Both look ridiculous, over the top, fun action.
Never mind Deadpool 3 coming out. Deadpool Wolverine.
That's a whole nother category. That's a whole nother segment. That's
I
July,
mean that's
and that is
yeah.
in its own ballpark, buddy. Let me tell you. Bless you.
Thank you. Huh.
All right, what else you got?
Um. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, there's nothing, no
I
shame in
don't
that.
watch much.
That's not bad. Like I said, you usually, I know you in your free time usually grind out on One Piece. That's your big go-to, unless it's
Yes.
something that's kind of like a standout, like Fallout.
Fallout. Yeah.
And like I said, hopefully it'll be some good new stuff coming up. I'm trying to think of some new shows coming out. Is I feel like there's more new shows coming out too soon that I really want to watch. You do need to get on X-Men 97. Holy crap, I forgot about that. I didn't even write
Oh.
it down.
Yeah.
And if you know, you know. Anybody who watched X-Men 97 this week, which was episode 5, then you know episode 5. The episode title is Remember It, and guess what? I didn't remember it, and I'm kind of ashamed. I did remember it, but I tried not to. Maybe. Yes, episode 2 and episode 5 so far have been the best episodes of the show, hands down. Phenomenal. Which is kind of funny too, because if you watch 2 and then skip 3 and 4 and go straight to 5, they kind of tie into each other a little bit. But anyhow, I digress. But 3 was also really, really good. Yeah, either way, show's amazing. I strongly recommend it. And you definitely got to catch up on it because I would love to talk to you about it, especially this last week's episode. I can't believe I forgot to put that on my list. But if you know, you know. If there's a reason, it's because it left me so emotionally shaken. I'm just like, what? What's just what? And so with that, it is about that time. I got to get ready to head out and go do some running on the roads. And yeah, so
Use your car.
keep it. Well, yabba dabba do. That has been this week's episode of the Throwback Podcast. Obviously, like I said, it's the first episode, it's a pilot episode, so let us know what you liked, didn't like, what worked, didn't work. Let us know, kind of things you've been up to, any of the flavors that you've tried or would like to see us try, or shows or movies based on our personalities or based on the channel that you'd like to see us try and talk about, or other podcast subjects and vlogs. Like I said, right now we've got kind of this format of like just covering what we've been up to during the week, but we can also do up more podcasts going into in-depth subjects and topics and details. And we'll eventually do more vlogs and game videos and top 10 lists and stuff. So just let us know what you're curious about, what you'd like to see, what you'd like to hear or see us try out and do. We'll try to do some shorts, trying different foods and snacks during the weeks. And there you go. So keep it tuned here to the Throwback Afternoon. And any final words?
Nope.
Speechless.
I thought I was going to think of something clever, and I could not.
Yeah, me neither. I was trying to think of something while you was thinking of something. I was like, well, after he says his, I'll do mine. But so this has been the
Have a
Throwback
good day.
Afternoon.
Good week.
See you guys on the next one.